You know that money attracts money. And I've taught you that if you don't have money, you become money. You become money by extracting information, by watching videos like this, by implementing what you learn, and by seeing the world a little differently. This is how I became money when I was homeless, when I was poor, when I was broke. And now, today, I look back on the past decade at 44, and I know that I have generated millions and millions of dollars in income revenue. I've also raised more than $30 million from hundreds of individual investors. And that revenue has come in from corporations, from individuals, from family offices, from private equity, so on and so forth. And these are ultimately, when it comes down to it, as big and important as it sounds, it really comes down to the fact that I've had thousands and thousands of conversations. And I want to tell you exactly what makes it possible for me to do what I do. There's something that I learned along the way after years and years of struggle, after years of not being able to make ends meet, after years of feeling like I have something special in me. I think in different ways. I have ideas that are valuable, and I'm willing to work for those ideas. After years of that not panning out too much, like when you go out and you look for gold and you have the pan and you shake the pan and it goes, sifts through the holes in the pan. You're supposed to have little nuggets of gold. That's what panning out means. But there would be dirt and soot. And it was years and years and years of that. After years of that and not knowing, I came across something after some patterns started to present themselves. And I think that what I learned will help you right now, starting today. This is how I am able to make money and attract money to me anytime I seek to. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm like rolling in the dough. It doesn't mean that everything is great because, I spend a lot of money and time and energy and mental energy, space, pouring back in, investing back into things. So, this ability to attract money, to become money, is just sort of second nature to me now. And it's really interesting. I try to observe it from another perspective to say, how does that happen? And through reflection, I have figured out two very clear things, two very clear reasons and ways that I bring in money so that I'm not chasing money, that money finds me. Opportunity finds me. Sometimes there's an opportunity that's worth way more than money, or it's worth way more in the future than a current sack of cash. Do you want to know what that is? Let me know in the comments right now if you want to know what these two things are that are so clear to me. If you're still with me, let me know. Make sure you subscribe, subscribe. Send this to your friend as well, because they're going to want to know these two things that starting today will change everything for you. The very first thing of two is that in any negotiation, which all of this is, a sales call is a negotiation, a conversation is a negotiation, even a friendly back and forth with a friend or your child is a negotiation. All of this is. So start thinking of it in that term. But in any negotiation, I have made it so that both sides win. So if you can make it so that both sides of the negotiating table have a win, that you didn't win a negotiation, you didn't win a deal. This isn't a fighting match. This is a collaborative, all boats rise at the same time. Both parties get what they want, and maybe there's even more magic and more bonus to what the other party gets, because then that makes them feel even better about the situation, and it turns them into recurring revenue, turns them into someone who comes back to collaborate with you over and over again because they got to win. And there's a way to do that. You deconstruct what the deal is, what the terms are, and you say, what am I able to let go of? What part of my ego can I let go of in order for this other entity to get something as well? If this is a whole sum game, if this is only 100% available, how do we get 50-50? And then the advanced play is to only play games and only do deals where it's not just 100%, that it's actually, when you take you and you take them, it actually multiplies. A quick example of how I think about this is that when I introduce people via email, and it's about something where I want them to collaborate, I don't do the two inverted caret, signs. I don't do the plus sign. I do name X name, so that it is name times name. Meaning, I believe that when I put two entities or two people together, it should multiply. It's an abundance mindset that I even do in an email subject line. The second thing that I do that has changed everything for me, and that will change everything for you in what you seek, especially when it comes to cold, hard cash, this will change everything for you. This is what has made it possible for me to sit across the table from millionaires and even billionaires and have an outcome that we all love. This is what has made it possible for me to raise more than $30 million for my venture fund and then go on to invest in more than 200 companies from that fund. And most of those companies are led by women or BIPOC founders or LGBTQ plus founders. And they're working on life-changing things in some cases, and certainly quality of life-changing things. So that catalyst and that reverberation will be seen for decades and maybe even more, because I was able to figure this part out. It's what's made it possible for me every single year to generate at least $1 million for myself personally, at least $1 million coming into my various entities, right? Like I have brought that in. And then to help others every single year generate millions of dollars cumulatively, whether it's a very specific terms that we have where I'm helping them officially, or it's a phone call and I'm just telling them a few things, or it's a video like this. This second thing has made it possible for me to understand what happens in the future. It helps me see around corners. It's turned me into a fortune teller. And that's an interesting term that I'm just realizing, fortune teller. Yeah, I like that. I'll tell you what it is. Let me know in the comments if the first idea helped you, if the first understanding and reveal helped you. The second one is that when I go into a negotiation, which again is almost everything, I go into it with 100%, no fluff, no hype, no hack, no tricks. I go into it 100% willing to lose the deal, willing to not get the deal if we're talking in our own terms. I go in 100% each and every time, going in willing, understanding, having the conversation with myself that is genuine and authentic. And I tell myself, it is okay if we do not get this. I. It is okay if it doesn't happen. What is for me will come to me. And when you go into a negotiation with those two mindsets shifts in mind, wanting everyone to win and being okay if it doesn't work out. When you go into a negotiation that way, something very, very interesting happens. The energy that you have is very attractive to opportunity. It immediately makes someone want to understand more about you without you having to say a word about what you're thinking. You just exude it. Have you ever been around someone who just seems confident? They seem clear with who they are. They seem comfortable, confident, clear, and comfortable. Have you ever been around someone like that? Put that in the comments if you have. Put confident, clear, and comfortable, or any one of those words. What about them makes them that way? It's this energy and this air of, I'm going to be okay. I don't need outside validation for me to feel a certain good way about myself. I met Queen Latifah a couple of times, and more recently this year. And this time I got to spend more time with her. And I have to tell you, I feel like she has the most charisma and confidence and comfortability with herself than any person I've ever met in my life. And I have to believe that it comes from some sort of centered gravity that she has. Now, if you translate all of this into these deals, these, negotiations for money or for time or for an opportunity, when I go in and let's say it's $100,000 on the line, and that $100,000 is like mostly mine, right? I'll go in already having told myself, it's okay if it's zero. I'm not going to bet on this working out. It's not like I'm saying, putting myself down. It's not like I'm saying, oh, it's never going to work out. No, no, no. I have confidence. I have more than most. It is saying, in order for you to collectively, in a given year, get the things that you want and the things that are meant for you, each individual conversation, no matter what size they are, cannot be more important than the next. So what I do is I lower the stakes for myself. Lower your own stakes. Comment below if you want to. Lower your own stakes. Make sure you're subscribed. Are you subscribed to this channel? If you're still with me and you're feeling this video, have you subscribed? And if you have subscribed, thank you. Have you sent this to at least 2 other people who need to watch this video? These are the 2 things that have made it possible for me. And I'll keep reminding you because I think it's important. I have to remind myself, this is a daily process. I have not figured it all out. If I had figured it all out, I would be a billionaire probably, right? Have not figured it all out. But I'll tell you what, having the ability to go out and make a living for myself, whether or not the reinvestment, leaves any on the table, having that ability to do that and having the ability to bring opportunities to other people is miles away. It's light years away from the feeling I had a decade ago and 2 decades ago and 3 decades ago, which was, I don't have control. I don't have the understanding, the information, or the hope of how I'm supposed to get out of this situation. And therefore, I don't know what I'm meant to be or who I'm meant to be, what I'm meant to do. That sort of just flailing is a sickening feeling. So that's why I want you to take back and have that power.